Yo guys, this is DD2 guy. Just wanted to show you guys a build just for beginners. So super straightforward, easy for you guys to get started with and just work your way through that. So pretty much all you want to do is have two main characters that you'll use for your build, which is the apprentice and the huntress. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna place an earth shatter tower, and the next thing you're going to do is just place two poison dart towers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not a difficult build. And just for the flyers, you want to just have something for them, so Skyguard will do pretty nice just to get rid of those flyers. So in terms of your actual build, so for the earth shatter tower, it's a really nice tower. Very good for doing a lot of damage. So this is just a beginner's guide. So what you want to have is earth toss, defense rate, and destruction. That's sort of the go-to for any beginner. Shadowquake may take some time to get. Defense rate is needed to get to the defense rate cap, and anti-melee works really well. Just to get rid of like half the mobs, just to do a bit of extra damage to them. So yeah, that's pretty much it for what you would need. So you would need to make sure you get that rate capped out. So the number one thing is your defense rate shard, and the number two thing is your defense rate mod. Of course you can ignore this if you're using a gilded rate shard, or if you're using a level 10 chaos 8 attack rate mod. In terms of your ascension, you want to go straight to your defense speed, number one. You want to get that maxed out. The next thing you want to do is just max out your damage right here. And the last things you want to focus on the utility side is definitely your critical damage, number one. Once that's maxed out, you want to do some critical chance. And then lastly, it's your range gambit. Yeah. This will pretty much allow you to sacrifice some defense power but gain a lot of range. So that's really useful, that range that you'll gain. So in terms of how you would want to get those shards, as a beginner it is quite difficult to get shards. So what you can do is pretty much do your daily missions right here. Focus on the maps they mention, and once you have 1000 you can get a defense rate shard right here. So defense rate chart is super useful. Yeah, this is the one you're looking for. You're gonna purchase one of these and you'll be sorted to reach that speed that you need to max out your defenses. So as an example, you can see right now this is just a chaos 7 relic, but it's doing 2.9 million damage. If I remove my defense rate, you can see it dropped dramatically to 1.8. So defense rate is very important here. So number one is max out your rate. Number two would be just adding some power, some destruction, and then you just want to go with toss just for AoE, area of effect. So that will just pretty much increase the area around your enemies that this will target. So it'll spread that earth type of damage. Which is very useful for your petrify. So to get your petrify is an elemental combo of poison and earth. So that's how you get your earth, from your earth shatter. The next thing you want to do is get your poison. To get your poison, you can just use your poison dart tower. That will actually get you your poison. So the build for this is a super basic beginner build that also works well. Number one, your raid shard, as I mentioned, explosive poison. That will really help to spread the poison around so you can petrify more of the enemies. Then destruction for more damage. And then lastly, for the mods, you just want to go with pierce servo, so that if you're dealing with enemies with the shields, you can pierce through their shields. Very useful. I'm not using a deadly strike, so it's really helpful that I do the attack range mod. And the last thing, very important, is just getting your attack range maxed out, so the mod. And in terms of ascension, pretty much the same stuff. Maxing out speed cap, number one, getting your defense power and potentially maybe your health for your tower. Over here you want to go straight to the crit damage, then crit chance, and here is where you play a bit of a game. Depending on whether you're using the Deadly Strikes shard or a mod, you may just want to change this so that you just reach the maximum range without sacrificing any defense power pointlessly. So right now I am at the max attack range, so if I were to spend more points there, I would just end up losing power and not gaining any range. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for how you get your petrify in. Earth and poison, these two will work really well just to get that petrify for crowd control. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I'm just going to demonstrate how powerful this is by doing a Chaos 8 map. Let's see how this holds up. So let's go to this map. Cool. And let's see how this holds in Chaos 8. Remember, I'm also using a Chaos 7 relic, so that's also would be really cool to see if it successfully passes with that. That's for my Earth Shatter tower. If you upgrade to Chaos 8, then you'll do more damage. Okay, so let's see how this holds for this map. Spiders will debuff nearby defenses, so it's recommended that you actually use your towers that will get some damage from a distance. Cool. So let's see if this will hold. So let's go with Earth Shatter and Poison Dart Tower. You can also use your Poison Dart Tower to get rid of those flyers. Yeah, that looks fine. I'm just gonna add 2 here. And an Earth Shatter Tower. Still have some DU left. I'm just gonna spam 2 Sky Guards just to take up those skies. You can also use a Cannonball Tower. You can also use a Ballista. There's lots of different builds, but the Earth Shatter and the Poison Dart Tower will give you that Petrify, turning the enemies to stone. Actually, let's just see how this goes. Yeah, so that's pretty much it from the build. It's not the build to advance with, it's just a beginner's build that will hold through for a lot of maps. So like you will encounter cyborgs at certain chaos levels. So like if you're dealing with Chaos 5, you will get cyborg. They will disable your nearby auras and nodes. So in order to bypass that, you just want to use Tenacity 10. But yeah, as you can see here, this is just holding up really well. And this is a Chaos 8 map. So yeah, that's really awesome. But yeah, just keep in mind, this build is not gonna hold for the entire map, unfortunately. So what you would need to do is get an EV. An EV will sort of help those help you protect your towers. In order to protect your towers, you'll need to use a reflect beam, because the hex throwers will debuff your towers and potentially destroy them. So hypothetically, if you were to progress like on the 4th wave, what you would need to do is just gonna get an EV. You would need to probably put a reflect beam around your towers just to stop those throwers, or position them carefully. That's one of the 2 ways. The next thing you also want to do when you get an EV to help out with this map is just dump a proton beam. So this proton beam, you will need to just max the attack rate, as I mentioned, and you want to make sure you get that slow in. So it does have this ability here, which is really awesome, which slows the enemies. So that's also quite nice. Yeah, you can actually use 2 protons, which works really well, an earth and poison proton. that will petrify the enemies. So yeah, that's pretty much the summary of what I want to show you guys. The Earth Shatter and the Poisoner Tower, you can progress quite far with that simple build, and you can even throw in the Sky Guard Tower just for some flyers. But yeah, that's the summary, and you could use a blockade if you're having some trouble here. Yeah, and there's lots of different builds, but this is the easiest to just make it through onslaught, some flows there, and yeah, easy build, not too difficult, usable for like almost all the chaos levels, all the chaos maps. So yeah, that's me guys, DD2 guy out.